victory. I just got another victory. Opposition said they sick of me. We turn their future to history. They try to hit me, they missing me. Ooh, they in the way. They getting stepped on back in the day. We who they slept on. You see my place. It's never.
What's going on, everybody? I want to welcome you back to Sheer Brilliance Knicks. I'm your host. My name is Sheer, and this is an impromptu live. But I want to welcome you to my channel. If you're here for the first time, happy Mother's Day to your families. Whether it's your spouse, whether it's your mom, whether it's your grandma, I'm sending the best of wishes. I know many of you are enjoying this day with loved ones. So my wishes is that you enjoy this day and enjoy the people in your lives that you love. So that's first and foremost. But if you're new to the channel, do me a favor, hit that thumbs up button, like this content. If you're a fan of basketball, this is a channel for you. All right? And I appreciate you for being here. So shout out to you if you're here for the first time. And we're going to get into it today. I'm going to give my reaction not only on this game, but on the season. So I want to thank you for joining me. Next up, if you're returning to this channel, my SB community, it's been a ride. It's been a ride. It's been a roller coaster. Ups and down hills. Run-ins with the ops. Drive-bys to their channel. But this is one of the moments where our colors fell. It hit the ground and we couldn't get back up. But we got news for you. They know we got squabbles. They know we got mad squabbles. So I want to thank you for returning back to the channel. You already know my SB community. Welcome back. Welcome back. We rolled deep. We had a great season. We had a great season on this channel. This is going into the second year of this channel. And we're at about 867 strong. So I thank you for helping me build that up. We about to get 1,000 of them things, 1K of them things. But we're going to talk our talk today, man. We're going to give reactions. We're going to talk about this game, but we're also going to talk about this season. And we're going to talk about the fact that we are now NBA top 10. What's the narrative moving forward? How you going to talk about us? We made it to the top 8 in this league. Change your narrative and change your tone. Watch your tone when you see us. Switch up your body language when you see us walking in the hallway. So we're going to get into that. So SB community, you know I love you. I rock with you. Thank you for helping me build this thing out. Now, you know, you can't have those people who get up on YouTube, search for NBA basketball, look for the New York Knicks. All be New York Knicks fans. Because if those fans of other teams are like the fans of the Knicks, then they smart. They loyal. They believe in their team. They don't want the ops to win. And then they secret shop and they check out those channels. And if they're like Knicks fans, then they troll a living flip out of them when they lose. And I know those people in my comment section, commenting and sectioning. And guess what? We still the best We still the best mother flips. And you ain't gonna win. There's only gonna be one champion. So we gonna buy you a drink when you join us in Cancun. We're gonna save you a spot on the beach. And we're going to remove any glass in the sand so you can put your toes 10 toes down right next to us. Friend or foe, we want the smoke. And the smoke is exactly what we're bringing today, courtesy of our New York mother flipping Knicks having a solid season, but just falling just short of this game against the Miami Heat. So we had to watch them flippers go on to the next round. The season was wide open this year. They ain't no dominant teams this year. Once Giannis was out, once You see KD is out. LeBron's eyes got this wide. He's like, what? Man, so I'm pulling for the Joker to get his first championship and for us to run this all back. So let's go Joker, let's go Denver. That's the squad that's left that I want to win. Call me a hater if you want to. Call me petty. I'm petty as hell. I'm Petty White, Petty LaBelle. I'm the petty prince of positivity. That's what I am. Those other teams can kick rocks with my Denzel point. We talking about it today. So I want to thank you for all rocking with me. Those people who are hopping on. You know I got you. Those family members who are like, why are you on live? You should be over here, sitting next to us on the couch right now. I'm going to see y'all in a little bit. Yo, you know how that goes. You show up fashionably late, like tomorrow. Y'all ride with y'all also. Those people who are watching this, not live, but you're coming on and checking me out. Listen, man, I really, truly have had a blast this season. We've all enjoyed watching our squad this season. Haven't we? Haven't you? Haven't you enjoyed watching your team? Seeing these cats pull it together, seeing these cats take a us against the world mentality, man. I've loved it. But I'm getting ahead of myself, man. The New York Knicks have fallen to the Miami Heat. We've fallen to the Miami Heat. Lost by 3 points in a nail biter. If you are a true New York Knicks fan, then this was the game. These last few games have been the games where you can't turn the channel. Because whatever it's going to be, it's going to be. You can't turn the channel. The New York Knicks have lost in the semi-conference final. And the Miami Heat are going on to face the winner of the Boston series. I don't know if that's already been determined. And the Philadelphia 76ers series. Let me get the main thing out of the way and keep the main thing the main thing. I take my hat off to you, Miami Heat. The organization, the fans, Jimmy Butler, I'm putting some respect on your name. The whole Miami Heat team, I'm putting some respect on your name. There is a difference in that team that we didn't have. And part of that is championship experience. Not part of it, all of it is championship experience. You have a championship coach who brings that experience. You have a championship point guard, no matter if he starts or if he backs up, who brings that experience. You have championship experience at the power forward position, where Kevin Love has never lost. Never lost. In the Eastern Conference Finals, being 12-0 with the Cleveland Cavaliers and now 2-0 with the Miami Heat, bringing championship experience to the table. There's a lot to be said in the most pressurized and pressure-filled moments. How do you respond to it? What are the young players who, the moment things get hot and the score gets close, and either you lose a lead or you come just close to overtaking the game? Who on a team can get you to settle down? Who on a team can get you back to center and help you focus so that you remain balanced and consistent and you finish strong? Usually that person on the team is a person who has championship mettle. And unfortunately, our team is a team that's on the rise. And don't get it twisted. Jalen Brunson showed up and he ran through the tape from the moment the preseason began and training camp began to the last game of the season. He sprinted through the tape. But the difference is that he could see it. He could see the championship. He brought that element of swagger in terms of championship experience because he's experienced that on the collegiate level, where he's led his teams to that. He just didn't have the help. He didn't have the help. He didn't have big time players making big time plays in these big time moments. And as a result of it, you know how players always say, well, I got to go back and watch the tape. Well, now you got all summer. You got all off season to go back and watch the tape. And what you're going to see are players who struggle to handle that next step of the spotlight. That's ultimately what it boils down to. My initial reaction to watching many of these games is that Alan Hahn said it best. You had one team who was bringing the smoke and the other team who didn't want the smoke. And I saw that, unfortunately, in many other players. And not to say that it was because they were scared, but it's to say that for some way, shape, or form, it's all ultimately like they didn't believe in their skill enough to take the big shot, even though they were wide open. So it was disguised as unselfish and passing the ball. To see the lane wide open, but have a concern that because Miami is quick moving and closing gaps, that they didn't trust their ability to penetrate when they saw that slither of opportunity, that slither of opening. And there's only a couple of people on our team who has the ability to drive the ball when they see the opening. So you know who I'm talking about. I'm talking about a Julius and I'm talking about an RJ. That moment they catch the ball and then they quickly pass it off. It's just like, what's going on? Now, you also got to understand this, and that's Knicks fans, and I include myself in that. This is where the mistakes come. Because I saw that on tape and I didn't necessarily give consideration to, you don't know how much push off Julius has off of that ankle. The injury was an ankle injury. So when that lane was open, I'm like, bro, what are you doing? We don't know if that treatment, we don't know if his ankle is purple and blue. We just know he's out there. We don't know if he's out there as a decoy. Apparently we know now. Apparently we know now he was out there as a decoy. Because there was a lot of moments he just didn't show up. But you can be discouraged. Just don't be discouraging. And a lot of his response, a lot of his just, come on, man, you just got to be mindful, bro. You are beyond a veteran in this league. You are an established veteran in this league. You got to be mindful of your words and how much power words carry, primarily over a young team. So I know I'm gonna be all over the place with this video, man, but I'm just gonna walk through my notes, man, and ask y'all to walk with me. But real quick, let me just give a shout out. Let me see who's in the comments. Let's go, yo, Fresh Prince, man. Listen, man. Yo, kudos to you, man. There's not a team left the Heat haven't beat twice in the past 5 years of the final. Talk your talk. Talk your talk. We whooped that ass in the regular season. Regular seasons don't count, though. And you've earned the right to talk your talk. I hope y'all crash and burn. Don't get it twisted. I hope y'all crash and burn. No, not literally. Don't get me canceled. I don't mean that literally. Listen, I'm the prime minister of positivity. But I hope all of your team tweak kneecaps. Tweak them. I want them to be tweaking. All of them, I hope they tweak kneecaps. Yo, but shout out to you. But listen, you know you're going to see us. And don't get old fast. It was my bad. This is why I don't have a GM position. It was my bad. This is why I don't have a president of basketball operations position. Because when Jimmy became a free agent, before he went to you guys, I didn't want him. I say, yo, that man is 28, and he's not one of those players that can get you over the top to a championship. He's not. His personality and his presence is alpha as F. His personality and his presence is alpha as F. But his ability is not going to be enough to get you to a championship. This year is an exception. When you don't got a Giannis in the picture and you don't got a KD in the picture and they're not on strong teams, and AD in LA is a paper cut away from being out for the season in the street clothes, this is a difference. Jimmy Butler missing a ring. I don't know. He could be out there jewelry shopping. So kudos to you, man, because first things first, the reason why Knicks fans are so adamant and so encouraged and so passionate about rooting for our teams, especially this season, is because we knew that window was wide open. We knew it was wide open. And if we're being real, we got more talent than y'all. We being real. But you got a phenomenal coach and you got players who know their role. And you got the most talented offensive player and the most talented basketball player being the most alpha personality on that team. That's why y'all won. And that's not an excuse. That's straight facts. If JB had the defensive ability at his position that Butler has at his, he has Butler's personality, but if he didn't give a like JB doesn't give a for y'all, that's a different story. But we also have players who have max contracts and who have talent, and they all believe in their talent enough to feel as if they could be a top player in this league. Miami, Duncan Robinson don't think that. Correct me if I'm wrong. Gabe Vincent don't think that. But they know what they do well. And they're like, if I do this thing the best for my team in the moment that I need to, then I've done my job. And that's the difference between teams that win consistently and teams that are learning to win consistently. So tip the cap off, respect to y'all. I'm going to get into the ops. I'm going to talk about how y'all was running up in my DMs. Pause. With the fire and with the flame. And I'm dousing. Pause again. It's New York, you gotta pause. But shout out to you, my guy. Shout out to you, Fresh Prince. Fresh Prince, let me put your comment. Let me show you the proper respect, my guy. There's not a team left the Heat haven't beat twice in their past 5 years in the final. I don't know if there's a team left that has the level of persistence, an ability to endure runs, and just to kind of fight it out and grind it out. I don't know if there's another team left in the playoffs who have that ability. So you guys all right. Y'all guys are in good shape. You laughing. I understand it. And he says Jimmy hurt too. You know, facts. Jimmy a dog. All facts. Mike Lilly says, I'm ready for next year now. 100%. Yo, shout out to you, Mike Lilly. SB community members are stepping up. Let's go. The SB community warriors. SB dubs in the house. Mike Lilly, man, I'm ready too. So, and just looking at this season, man, there's a lot that's starting to. I have to take a day, first and foremost. I sat there staring aimlessly at the television as the Lakers game came on, and I was still staring at the screen. And I said, "Look, I know my guy Fresh Prince is in my comment section. I know this dude Frank with a C. He's in my comment section. I still got Mavs fans in my comment section circling the block, all tap dancing and crip walking all over the Knicks grave." So I ain't going to social media right now. I'm gonna eat this extra cup of ice cream. And I gotta take a day off. But I was excited because I'm like, let me get back on, man. I'm seeing a bunch of wild takes that I know are based in emotion. I know they based in emotion. But this is it. So my reaction, man, was this series was a little bit disappointing. There were certain parts there was a lot of parts that was disappointing in this series. First and foremost, the officiating. The imbalance in the officiating. And I'm going to be one briefly, but then I'm going to back away from it. Because you don't complain. You don't win or lose the games with the refs. You know, you got to do your part. Miami's free throw shooting is stupid. It's stupid that a team could be a missed the game and be 16-17 from the free throw line. I'll give it to y'all with that. Y'all role models with that. Those are free points. You could talk about how somebody could be more talented all you want. You don't got your fundamentals down. You can't hit free throws. Kudos. So the free throws, the only and the way and I say that because it links with referee calls. And that's the problem. If you're going to call it, you know both of these teams are physical. You know both of these teams are on tape. Those referees who are assigned to the playoffs and assigned specifically for the Miami Heat, the New York Knicks, you know that the league has talked to you about how you're going to officiate this game, what to look for with these two teams. We just needed you to call it down the middle. New York Knicks fans can't complain about Adebayo because they studied us from the 90s. They're doing to us what we were doing to other teams. And we can't talk about it being a new day and a new age and that type of basketball ain't played that anymore. 2 years ago, we played it. 2 years ago, we hung our hats on it. And we had the bums at the 1 and 2, but they was locking people down. You know, the guy with the hairstyle that looked like the rooster, both of the guys at the 1 and 2, who looked like the rooster from the Bugs Bunny Looney Tunes cartoon, those guys at the 1 and 2. Long defensive oriented, putting pressure on the backcourt of the opposite team. Then you have Mitch and Noel in the back, swatting everything. And every team in the league knew that our foundation was physical. You're not going to play the New York Knicks without expecting to get beat up, and within the rules. And that's exactly how Miami was playing. It was a physical matchup. Miami Heat made sure we felt them this season, this series. So that's the one thing that kind of stands out to me is just the referees' impact, how the referees can impact the start of a game. It balanced out ultimately, or it started to become a little bit more even the final few parts of the game. But by then you have an IQ who's injured. By then you could have had a JB who's injured because your man's is stepping on his ankle. But those are things that the league has to be honest with themselves and look at. Those are the things that the coach needs to do, a Phil Jackson needs to do, a Jeff Van Gundy needs to do, a Pat Riley, and stay on the necks of the referees that are in New Jersey and the commissioner, and make sure that they're looking at this and they make the adjustments for next year. Unfortunately, it may have cost us an opportunity to play in the conference finals. But that's every sport and every team who has a situation where they feel as if the refs weren't in their favor. So that's one. If I'm diving into players, in terms of this series, I mean, I was super disappointed. And I know IQ got injured, man, but I just think his playoffs I don't know. It almost seems as if his lack of showing up in the playoffs coincided with him not being recognized for Sixth Man of the Year. And I know that that's probably pure coincidence. But it just seemed to be once he got to the playoffs, I don't know if the roles changed or the offensive strategy changed, but it seemed as if what got him in the conversation for Sixth Man of the Year was the fact that he had learned how to diversify his game portfolio. He not only was shooting three-pointers, he'll hit you with the mid-range. He hit you with the floater. He was driving to the basket more. He was being more competitive and more fiery on the defense. His vision had expanded, so he had the ball and he was minimizing his turnovers and increasing the amount of times he found people either on the break for the alley-oop or making the pass. His control of the game started to be evident mid to end of the season. And I was swearing he was going to carry that into the playoffs. But when the playoffs turn their lights on, all of the lights in that arena are floodlights. And only a few players have shades, and they've conditioned their eyes to be able to deal with those, the level of intensity, of the brightness. I think IQ, I don't know. I don't think his eyes were ready for the spotlight. I was hoping that they were. He showed steps this season of raising his game. I was just hoping that the playoffs is always an opportunity for the world to put eyes on you. So any of the opposing fans, and be like, oh, you know, y'all New York Knicks fans always overrate their teams. They always overrate their teams. No, that's because we watched them in the regular season. We've seen the growth and the progression. It is the playoffs where the rest of the world get an opportunity to see what we've been seeing all along. And that's why I really wanted for IQ so badly to break out and show the rest of the world what we've seen in terms of his progression. And that didn't happen. And unfortunately, he caught an injury before he could. And he could have been a difference maker. If it was based on how he produced and contributed in the regular season, he's absolutely a difference maker that could have helped us secure this victory. So IQ is one of those players. I'm going to just jump to Randall because there's so much to talk about in terms of Randall. It's layered. People will say, you know, just this season, if it did nothing else, it showed that the New York Knicks have to move in a different direction when it comes to Julius Randle. All right? And I'm torn, man. This season has been a season that I said, you know what? Julius is ours. Okay? We had an opportunity in the summertime to deal him and bring back pieces. We didn't. We chose to ride with him as part of this group that we have moving forward. Let's see how he is when he has a point guard. That was the attitude. Julius did nothing else but have a comeback season. He did nothing else but become an all-star. He did nothing else but make the all-NBA team for the second time in 3 years. Okay? He's responsible for us getting to the playoffs for the second time in 3 years. Now, was he sweaty ass cheeks for this playoffs? Probably. Probably. No, probably. This man was sweaty ass cheeks for the playoffs. But there's a lot to be said about what he's done up until this point. If I'm being honest and transparent, though, when I think about Randall and what he's meant for this team, I don't completely diminish those people saying he needs to be traded. I am frustrated. I am tired of it. But that glimmer of the other side for me says, where else you going to get a player with his talent and his skill level? Come on, man. Let's not be delusional. A lot of what it is that we were doing centered around Randall. And he came through like, he had a 57-point game this season. And in that game, you looked at it, he was unstoppable. And not only that, he's shown the ability since he's been here for the 3 years to hit many of those shots consistently that he was taking. But it's something about the playoffs, and it's something about when those lights turn on in the playoffs. I don't know, he don't do well. I have down here, he reminds me of Vince Carter. My cousin, my fellow, content creator, Prestige New York. Check out Prestige New York. He's on Twitter. Anything you need to know just about, the history of like hip hop, the culture of hip hop, check him out on Twitter. But for years, I've been going back and forth with him, asking about Vince Carter and whether or not Vince Carter is a Hall of Fame player. And y'all can put your comments in the chat if you want to talk a little bit about that as well. But to me, I feel Vince Carter had all the superstar costumes, but he didn't have the heart. He just didn't deliver. And he always seemed to kind of cower down or, shy away from the spotlight. A lot of comparisons between him and Michael Jordan because his jumping ability and what they expected to get out of Vince Carter. But he didn't have the heart to show up. Even Oakley said it when he was on his team. He was like, where you at? These are the moments you're supposed to step in and deliver. I don't listen to Shaq, but Shaq had a moment where he went on social media and he said, Julius, before this last game, I'm telling you, brother, if you want to be in the same category as a Patrick Ewing, as a Kobe Bryant, or any and all of the Knicks legends, you want to be in that same category too, you got to force your will on this game and help them get this victory. He called him out. And I saw everything that Shaq was asking Julius to do, Jalen Brunson did it. Instead, Julius looked checked out. He looked checked out. So I just think in hearing, you hear Tibbs say, Julius is still young. That's a fact. But at what point do you realize something is a trap and you turn around? Julius is a trap. Now the question is, if we get rid of him, what are we getting back? And also another piece is, you got Obi Toppin on the bench. And he had a relatively good series. But Obi at this point in time needs to be thrust into a lineup where he's getting close to 40 minutes a game. So something that I said on previous videos is something I'm going to adhere to. The New York Knicks have been doing an evaluation all playoffs. They wanted to coach this team up as much as possible, but they had to know in their hearts that this team wasn't going to do anything in terms of the ultimate goal, in terms of winning the championship. But what they did know was they're going to look to see how cohesive this team is and then try to predict what the potential is for this group. And are we duplicating skill sets at the same position, and what's out there that we can kind of plug in and swap out to enhance our chances of being able to move the ball forward down the field and get to where it is that we need to go. That's what's been happening. Julius Randle, it is time for a move. It's time for a move. There's certain parts of me that think, and once again, just in my brain, certain parts of me that think, all right, he's shown a history of when someone gets accolades or someone gets praise or someone gets, veneration from other players, that he has a little bit of a problem with that. That sometimes it's almost like he feels as if he's underappreciated when someone else is getting shown appreciation. Not realizing that there's a season that everybody, you all got the same jersey on. We're rooting for y'all, but we're going to look and give props to those people who are doing their things at the moment. There was no better feeling than watching those games when New York Knicks fans were out, when all of the elders and the forerunners, the John Starks consistently there. John Starks symbolizing heart and grit for us, the underdog who comes and takes on any challenge. There in the front row, cheering us, cheering this new team on. to have Carmelo going crazy in the Garden with his future NBA son, pulling for this team after the game, pulling these players aside, trying to give them words of encouragement, and at the same time letting them know, I see you. I see you. I see what you're doing. I'm sure they're telling them, like, stop listening to the outside media. Everything you need is right here in the Garden. We got you. To see all of the celebrities who were known to be there during the 90s. They're a little bit older now, but now we got some new celebrity fans that are coming in. That vibe is back in New York. We're a top 10 team. That's going to happen. And I know Julius works his ass off, but I think he wants to be known as that guy that brings New York back. And what's been happening is that it's the collection of this group that we have that's responsible for contributing to bringing this thing back. And he has to deal with that. And he's having a hard time with that. And Tibbs needs to see that. Because going into next season, Tibbs is going to carry out his contract. Stop it. Stop acting like Tibbs is going to get fired. Stop it. That man is real close friends with people in upper management. That man's godson is the star of the team. Y'all crazy if y'all think Tibbs is getting fired. He's going to be given the professional courtesy of carrying out his contract. But if he doesn't make adjustments in terms of that connection with Julius, he and Julius is going down together. Don't bring Karl Anthony Towns here. Do not bring that man here. He couldn't handle Jimmy Butler yelling at him in the practice. You think he coming to New York to thrive? You think he comes to New York, he's going to be Othello Harrington. Karl Anthony Towns comes to New York, he's going to turn into Othello Harrington. And that might be disrespectful to Othello, who's on the bench as a coach right now. So stop with the cat talk. Stop with the Damian Lillard talk. Because that type of play is the win now play that's going to set us back here. Stop it. I already said at the very beginning, man, there's two players who I would move heaven and earth for. And this is prior to really getting JB. I said it was LaMelo Ball and Giannis Antetokounmpo. Because I think LaMelo Ball, and he's questionable now. I know that pick is questionable, but Giannis is unquestioned. Giannis is a franchise changer. Giannis is a championship contending. Vegas will go all in on the Knicks if they were able to land Giannis and put him with JB. But Julius Randle is so much in his head. He is so much in his head, and that's why I say he reminds me of Vince Carter, where he can't get out of his own way. Vince Carter kills me when he tries to sit and be an analyst and talk about these players in big-time spots when he folded like a metal chair at a barbecue on Sunday. Folded. Get F out of here with that. So Julius Randle, man, though you an all-star, all NBA, you're not fit for New York. I'm sorry. So the New York Knicks need to get on their grind and figure out how we're going to handle this situation. And another thing in terms of Julius Randle and Jalen Brunson. So I'll go from Julius to Jalen. The interesting piece to me is that the NBA is now fixated on trying to force feed Julius as the star in the face of New York to Knicks fans and to the rest of the NBA world. They're trying to really fixate and paint this, so they put him on the All-NBA team. He earned that, but he's there. Gave him an All-Star berth. He earned that also, but he's there. And they don't acknowledge Jalen Brunson. We leave him off of the All-Star team. We leave him off of the All-NBA team. We leave him off of the most improved player team. We leave him off of those things. We're telling you we don't want to put him there. We want to lift up Julius. Because if you put Jalen Brunson, you lift them up together, and now you start to put them in the same frame as a Boston with Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum. You have to then, if you're doing that, you're acknowledging that the New York Knicks are on a come up, and the New York media don't want to give them those type of wins. We're going to give you a little bit. We're not going to give you everything. How many of the people who chose the 6 Men of the Year, you know, it was an imbalance in the number of Boston writers who put, you know, that 6 Man of the Year, Malcolm Brogdon, gave him the votes. And most of those writers were from Boston. Come on, man. So this is why they don't like Knicks fans, because we see everything that we're doing and we're calling it out. Unfortunately, nothing you can do about it. And unfortunately, it means a lot to players, because many of their contracts are incentivized. And that's why I said I think IQ was impacted by the 6 Man of the Year slate, because you don't know what was in his contract, if he was able to get that in his contract as a 6 Man of the Year winner. You don't know what was in JB's contract, if he was able to get an award or make the All-Star game or make the All-NBA game list. You're messing with these people's lives, bro. But yeah, we're not going to let it happen. Jalen Brunson is a superstar. He's a superstar. I said it. He was my favorite player before he played a game. He stepped a foot on the floor. The moment he got here, just looking at the tape, the highlights, and his footwork, his facial expression, and his personality. The fact that, you know, the young, bubbly, young guys that had all the potential for the Knicks is trying to, and he was just like, nah, man, you know what? Well, you need to switch it up. If you rolling with me, there is a time and a place for everything. And now it's not the time or the place, if we got goals, for you to be doing what you're doing. So Jalen Brunson, man, you know, has been everything for us, but he's more importantly, he announced to the world, I'm a player to be reckoned with. I'm a top 5 point guard in this league. You need to start talking about me. Put some superstar respect on my name. Put some superstar respect on my name. So it's a disappointing outcome for us. So close, but I'm super proud of this team. And this week I'm going to dive in to each of the players. I started out with Julius Randle and Jalen Brunson, but I'm going to dedicate more time to all of the players, as I know we all will, as content creators, begin to react to the season, the type of season that we had. But I tell you this, Knicks fans, keep your chin up. Hold your head up high, because this has been a journey that we've been on. And not only are we here, but everybody knows that we're here. And everybody knows that we're not paper, that we're legitimate. So enjoy this point forward, figuring out, hearing what the narrative is. Now that they know that our front office is competent, now that they know that our team is more than competent, now that they know we do have young talent in our players that they tried to diminish as throw-ins or garbage when that Donovan Mitchell trade come up. Donovan Mitchell knows. And no, we don't want him here. So dead that talk. Be proud of your team. But I also got a message for you Knicks fans. Yo, y'all wildin'. Y'all wildin' after the end of the game, you pulling down the Julius. Come on, man. That man's he's a whole man. You're going to be pulling down his, writing on his. Yo, celebrate the fact that your team gave you enjoyable basketball to watch, quality basketball to watch, that they fought to improve incrementally and getting to the point where from 2 years ago, they've taken it up a notch. There's another step for us to be at. Clearly, there's a pattern that's developing. So conference finals is going to put us a little bit closer next year. Hopefully we take that, and 1 year we'll go to the conference finals and then the finals. But this team gave it all that they had. And individually, each of them had different definitions of what all of what they had meant. But if nothing else, we could hold with pride the fact that we have a budding superstar on our team at point guard, at the head of the snake position. What do you do if you add a Jalen Brunson to that equation? What do you think? Where do you think we're going to go? Julius Randle has gotten incrementally better every season. With the exception maybe of his output last season. But his numbers were still on point. His just impact in terms of winning for his team and his mental was cooked. I don't know, man. Yo, as a fan base, we got to be better. As a fan base, we got to be better. We have too many moments that are just questionable, man. We know how these fair weather ass fans, like the Miami Heat fans, show up with them damn white hot t-shirts because they white hot off of the presses. They just pulled you off of the street and put you in the arena. Y'all don't care about y'all basketball team. We dominate y'all arena all year. Y'all don't care about them boys except when y'all winning. Knicks fans, let's not be like that. You know we're the most knowledgeable fan base in the league. Stop it. Were we trying to be Cleveland Cavalier fans when they were setting fire to jerseys out there when LeBron left? That's the first time I saw that. We trying to beat them? Come on, y'all. We could tell Julius to his face that, yo, you need to be out. You ain't got to be doing little pulling down, destroying property, but pulling down and making. We ain't got to do all that. Let that for the small fan base, of the smaller league teams. Come on, man. We could be better than that, bro. That was embarrassing. So let me see what else y'all talking. Then I'm gonna wrap up because I know many of you are spending time with your phenomenal families, and I'm gonna need to start doing the same. So let me see what we got here. My guy, I'm glad, I appreciate you staying and rocking with me, Fresh Prince. He says you have to understand regular season built team and playoffs built team. We got dogs just like you guys, but we just show up and want it more. And that's what comes with playoff experience. I can't, that's not cap. That's not cap. That wanting it more could be argued. You still playing. That don't mean we didn't want to still be playing. But a lot of what you said wasn't cap. You also said after Jimmy and Bam talent-wise, you guys beat us, but our team well-built and coach. I'm not sure if I read that right. But I think I get the gist of what you're saying. You said, although we small. Facts. Salute. Knicks are nice. Yo, salute, my guy. Salute to you, man. We had a good season, brother. Tibbs and Randle will return next season. I'm agreeing. I agree with that. And once again, we just gotta, I hate to say this phrase. We have to trust the process. We do. We got to trust the process. My guy, Knicks are nice, also says Cat is down with CAA and Tibbs coached him. Don't diss him too early. Bruh. No. I just don't think he's built for New York. No, stop it. I'm sorry. We gonna fight on this one today. I'm not with it. He's not. No. He reminds me of KD in terms of his mentality and his level of sensitivity. Say what you will about Julius. Julius is sensitive as hell. But he's eating it. And sometimes he implodes, you know, and it may push him into his little huff and puff inside his mind. But for him to have a season like he did last year and to come back and have a type of season like he had this year, I don't know. I don't know, man. I don't know. I don't want Cat here. That's it. I just don't think. And how Cat responded to Jimmy and the practice and all that, and he was just, nah, man. Jimmy came out and said those cats don't want to win. And they can't take the criticism of the Heat in the moment. He was trying to push them. That's what Mike was doing with that squad. Everybody say what they will, and Jimmy, in terms of his team and his environment, almost provide. Yeah, he clearly watched The Last Dance, but because he tried to imitate what Mike did at his time with the Miami Heat. I mean, with the Minnesota Timberwolves, it didn't work that way. But I'm sure it worked with Miami because we're seeing the results. I don't know. I'm not a fan of Cat, man. I mean, he has talent. I'm not a fan of him being in New York. Fresh Prince also says, I love you, my brother. Be good. Yo, same to you, man. Respect. Shout out to you guys, man. Honestly, truly, if I'm being transparent, I really don't want y'all to win anything. But shout out to you, man. I hope to see your team in Cancun before ring ceremonies. But happy Mother's Day to your mom and every important woman in your life, man. Peace and blessings, and be safe, brother. My guy Gideon comes in here, says happy Mother's Day. Yo, happy Mother's Day to everybody on the chat. We return the same to you in your direction in terms of your mom, any loved one in your life who is a mother, mothers and fathers. Phenomenal. That's all I'll say. That was a hell of a lot of build-up just for the word phenomenal, right? But shout out to you guys, you know. Give blessings and positivities to your moms, if you can. Gideon also says it was a good year for New York. They just need a few more experience and pieces. We agree. Yo, you know what? I respect the ops. When you come in here and you show a little bit of love, you know, respect is not given, it's earned. You know what I mean? And I know we've been going at it. Many of you who are the ops on my channel, it's because I call you out. But I also call out if you speak in facts. And I do troll your pages, and you do the same with mine. And we respect the art of the chess game. But shout out to all the ops who are in here, friend or foe. You know we want the smoke, but if you're a fan of NBA basketball, then you know we try to keep it as genuine as possible. So shout out to you, Gideon. And I agree. And I knew what you meant when you said pieces. Gideon also says Brunson had the heart of a lion. Other than Hart and iHeart, no one followed suit. I think if the New York Knicks are serious about making a championship run and understanding who they have on their team right now, in Jalen Brunson, they will fast track. They will DoorDash fast. Do what it is they need to do to put the pieces around Jalen Brunson so that he, as quickly as possible, can get this team right back in this position with a different outcome. They're on the phone right now doing what they can to get him another Showtime piece. Because if he had one person have a good series, if there were plays run or if there were opportunities where the wide open shots were made by Quentin Grimes, this would be a different outcome. If IQ, different outcome. If RJ was more consistent in free throws and three-point, different outcome. So it's a lot that has to be said about putting the pieces around Brunson. I tell you what, don't think that that's still a question. It started with Hart, bringing Hart in. The moment he got traded for, I said the New York Knicks are putting pieces, they're building around Jalen Brunson. I always like to laugh at the no look that the New York Knicks tried to do with us. Oh, he's just a piece. He's not the savior. He's just a piece. They tried to quell Knicks fans' excitement about signing him as the biggest free agent that summer. But you ain't pulling the wool over my eyes. I saw what it was. Bro, I've been telling everybody, this man is a superstar. He almost single-handedly refused to lose this game. Single-handedly almost refused, would not be denied. And it crushed his soul when he made the wrong decision on that pass to Julius. And immediately, my nephew was just like, yo, he had heart at the top of the key. I didn't see it. He's going to watch that tape and die 2 or 3 deaths. And I'm confident that that's one of our leaders. Bring somebody in with his same level of skill set, hunger, and desire, or more, and it's a wrap for the league. New York should be running off 2 or 3 championships in the world of the NBA. That's how the world will be righted. That's how the universe will be in alignment again. Let the New York Knicks be in a position where they got a team on the floor that's going to rattle off 2 or 3 world championships. That's the goal. And you do that by building around Jalen Brunson. So shout out to the ops. Shout out to you, Gideon. My guy Mike Lilly says the hardest thing for me is seeing Jalen all alone at the end. How can we just stand and watch after running our asses off all year? I have nothing but high-level Knicks fans on here. High level. And I saw that same thing. I just thought that there were moments where we're running the statement, we got a young team, into the ground because it's a fact. It's a fact. And a lot of what I was seeing when I would see Grimes on the wing and he had a slither of daylight. Looking at Miami, Gabe Vincent and Duncan Robinson launch when they have slivers of daylight. That's what I wish for those players. And when they go back and watch the tape, they're going to make the adjustments. They had more than a sliver of daylight to take the shot, and they was trying to get it into JB's hands. There's a certain confidence that comes with knowing you're not going to be pulled and being familiar with those big moments. And shout out to Miami. They've been there before. But that doesn't make it any less frustrating when we're watching it on TV. Bro, take the shot. Yo, bro, RJ, come on, man. You finished through contact. Drive the basketball. Why? When you drive the basketball, Mitch gets open. Don't look at his stat sheet and wonder why he ain't putting up nothing in the paint. Nobody is putting pressure on the rim. I felt like 6'9", Nobody's putting pressure on the rim. So it's not going to create shots. And when nobody is handling the ball and putting pressure on the rim, then they can double team Brunson. Basketball 101. And I didn't even take that class. And I know that. So what do we do? Come on. So you got to build. Give that man players. I know teams have been calling you all season. Pull up those notes. Revisit. How did those players that other teams were once offering, how did they progress in the season? And they'll do that for us. Because that's a real thing. At the time that we were in talks to trade for Donovan Mitchell, IQ didn't do much. I mean, we knew the talent and the skill and the hard work and the character of that player. We know the potential of Obi because we've seen him, in times when Julius was injured. And his work ethic and his character as well. We know all of that about our players. They don't know that. They know it now. because they know they didn't pull the trigger on those players, and those players helped get the New York Knicks to the semifinals. Those players gave a gentleman's sweep to the player that you traded, and you got the pieces back. And where are you right now? How far did you and your team go? So it's a testament that players can improve if you look at them and you try to measure what their potential and their ceilings are. But this team's front office needs to build around Jalen Brunson ahora. Right now. So shout out to you, my guy Mike. We had a great season. I'm coming up on the hour. Like I said, I'm going to be deep diving into this team, man. I'm so excited about what we could possibly do with Quentin Grimes. I'm excited. I think he was ghost a lot of this playoffs. And a lot of people will put that on Tom Thibodeau. But Tom Thibodeau has so much on his plate. At what point do you more than raise your hand and say, I'm hungry, I want to eat? I'm talking about Grimes. At what point do you go beyond that? You need to force them to play you. And you do that with your play. You do that by being aggressive on the floor. And you're showing that on the defensive end. But you have to be, listen, the master class that Jalen Brunson put on in this playoffs. I don't care where I'm on the floor. You can't stop me. You were the best defense in the NBA left in the playoffs, and you cannot do nothing with me. Here's 41 for you. Here's 38 for you. You can't. I'm gonna look you dead in your eye, and I'm scoring. And you called me undersized, and you called me a backup, and you said I wouldn't move the needle. So Quentin Grimes, what are you gonna do? IQ, what's your excuse? Being a prototype, have all the physical skills to be a dominant two-way player. What are you gonna do? RJ Barrett, what's your excuse? I'm proud of you, young boy. You showed up in the playoffs. You struggled coming into the regular season, but you showed up for the playoffs. Showing that you don't wilt under the spotlight, or that you have an ability to bounce back when you do wilt under the spotlight. Because that's what RJ has done. He was a non-factor 2 years ago in the playoffs. Non-factor. Completely relying on the momentum that Julius had as the star leading that team, being the engine of that team. He was hidden under the shade of the umbrella that Julius was providing. So that was that reason. The season after that, a little bit of signs, but not much. Terrible season for the New York Knicks, but did show some growth. And this season, inconsistent. We didn't know if he's a factor. Is he the three? Is he the third best player? What is he? Should we put him on a bench? And this man came out firing, in the playoffs. But when the Heat started getting hot and JB was carrying the team, looking around, RJ was the person next up, not Julius. RJ had that position. And in the final game, in the elimination game, he didn't show up. But kudos to the young man. He said, I played like shit. He said, I know I didn't play well. And I got a lot to think about, but I know I didn't play well. Kudos to him. And attitude reflects leadership, because after that other loss earlier, as opposed to saying maybe we don't want it as bad as the other team, JB heard that statement. He didn't do it as a response to Julius' statement. He did it because this would be his response anyway. I gotta be better. I take it all on me. I gotta be better. And to the tune of 41 points. he came and dropped on the team, he was. And I got news for you, he's going to be better next year. So we're going to have a lot to talk about this week, Knicks fans, but if nothing else, talk your talk. They can't silence you. They want you to go silently into the night. They want you to be quiet. They want you to be humble, thinking this is a humbling experience, losing to the Heat at this point. No. Turn that shit off, turn on, and realize that they didn't expect us to make the play-in. They predicted we would have 37 wins. They had no prediction of us sniffing the playoffs. But now we came in this mother flipper as a number 5 seed. We came in this motherfucker and moved as far as the semi-conference finals. And we emerged as a top 8 team in this league for years to come. Be proud of that. Talk your talk and get ready for whatever moves. And also, let's start trusting that these discussions are being had, that these moves are in motion, and stop being so quick to kick our own team, to kick our own front office. They're already doing that. We don't need to be additional boots. We don't got to be that final Timberland boot that kicks the team onto the tracks to get run over. We don't need to do that. We had a great season. We have fun coming together as a fan base and watching this team do things nobody predicted them to do. Let's show the rest of the NBA world how it should be done. Light the damn beam. Nah, the beam stays lit in Madison Square Garden. Let them all come to the Mecca. All right, keep this in mind. Same thing applies to life that applies to our team. If there's no struggle, there's no progress. I am Sheer from Sheer Brilliance Knicks, but more importantly, I'm truly appreciative of you for having rocked with me all year. Our team did well. I made so many great friends, great content creators. We are truly a community, friend or foe. We want the smoke. Enjoy the rest of these playoffs. Shout out to the Denver Nuggets. Let's get this championship. And I'm out. Sheer Brilliance Knicks. Peace.
Victory. I just got another victory. Opposition said they sick of me. We turned their future to history. They tried to hit me, they missing me. Ooh, they in the way. They getting stepped on back in the day. We who they slept on. You see my place.